Hey friends, welcome back to the Gubba Homestead. I'm Gubba, and today we have a super special guest, my mom. This is Gubma.
Hi everybody.
And she is here on the homestead. She came to visit, she's been helping me out, and it has been so helpful. So before we get into it, make sure to subscribe so you never miss another video, especially as one as exciting as this. Today we are doing a Q&A. Over on my Instagram, I posted a picture of us and asked, what questions do you have for us? Because it's rare that I get to have a family member here, get to record with them, and share her insight along with mine. So we got a lot of awesome questions that we're going to be going through. On my social media, I am Gubba Homestead everywhere, but you know, they kind of don't like the messages that I'm sharing, so I am being silenced. This might be a good place to find me, but all socials, Gubba Homestead, my website, gubbahomestead.com. So if I get silenced everywhere, you can find me there. So we got a lot of awesome questions. We're going to be going through them, having a discussion, and the first question is, so this is from Juliana. Did she raise you on a homestead, and is she a conspiracy theorist too?
We did not raise her on a homestead. Am I a conspiracy theorist? Partly, yeah. Partly, I'm. My eyes are opening. Let's just say that, yeah.
So when you say partly, like what is making you hesitant? Where you're like, I'm not a full conspiracy theorist, I'm just a partial.
Yeah, a lot of it still is hard to believe for me, just because of how I grew up and things that I saw and believed in, and now that it's turned around, yeah, my eyes are opening up. That's what I will say.
So what you're saying is you don't believe we went to the moon?
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time with that, yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so what you're saying is you believe the ingredients in our food are causing issues?
Yeah, that I totally.
Okay.
I do believe the earth is flat. I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I always have. I've always questioned that. Just throwing that out for whoever.
You got your local flat earthers here. I guess that's a pretty extreme conspiracy theory. I mean, I'm open about it. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But yes, people get angry. They might get very angry at you, by the way, for sharing that.
That's okay. Everybody has their own opinions, and I can say what I want, and they can say what they want.
That's so true.
So that's how I feel about it.
You know, I was very space, astronomy, stars, the sun, that whole shebang, until somebody sent me some things, and then you see that NASA's using green screens, and you start asking questions, and you know, you come to interesting conclusions. I would say she's a conspiracy theorist. She's being modest.
Yeah,
Flat Earth's a
I'm
big
getting
conspiracy.
There. I am.
Would you say you're as a conspiracy theorist as I am?
No, not all the way. No,
Okay. I guess, is there anything off the top of your head where you're like, oh, I don't know if I believe what she's thinking? What about Tartaria?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Something
there
like
we go.
that, yeah.
Tartaria, you know, why did Chicago look like Paris, and then all these buildings? Why did every major city in the United States have a fire in the 1800s and early 1900s? Why? Anyways, okay, we'll get there one day. So, and yes, I was not raised on a homestead, but yeah, so we didn't have land. We had, you know, backyard I'd go play in. We didn't grow any food. I remember we had like a little crab apple tree.
And raspberries.
Oh yeah, we had raspberries.
Yeah,
that's probably why I
that
love
was about the
raspberries so
extent of
much.
it.
Next one, did you learn a lot of your skills from your mom? Because they said mum. I'm gonna assume, let's see, this is from Carrick. Are you in the UK? Mum. I love that. I would say, you're saying no, but don't you remember we baked a lot?
We
baked a lot. We cooked a lot. I was actually just thinking because we had family dinners a lot.
Yes, we did.
So I would say cooking, baking, and I'm trying to think like what other things we did. A flower garden. Remember up on the hill we'd have a little flower garden.
Yes, we did that.
What other things that we would do together? So like I'd say more skills of like myself, of how to deal with people, how to be confident, how to be a good friend. I would say those are kind of skills. So homesteading, we didn't do much homesteading, so there wasn't
Yeah.
like,
right.
Yeah. but
those kind of skills.
other life skills, yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is from Val. Does she follow the same lifestyle as you?
I mean, a little bit. I've started, growing my own vegetables and fruits, and so that I have.
Yeah.
I haven't gone into canning but I want to learn.
Mm-hmm. And just sourdough starter, you want to learn?
Sourdough, yeah, that's my big thing. I want to learn that too. So I'm getting there, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I'm doing a lot more than what I used to do.
Her and my dad's garden is amazing.
Yes.
The garlic is incredible. The tomatoes, the carrot, and they have, you guys have a little backyard. You live in suburbia and you can homestead from anywhere.
You can. Mm-hmm. We
So
do it in
cool.
our backyard. Yep.
Their garden's better than mine. You guys have a lot more veggies.
Yeah, and we're actually going to do more, yeah.
Someone's asking, was she familiar with homesteading? Like before I started?
I wasn't, I really didn't even know about homesteading, really. I guess I never dove into that. Mm-hmm. So no, I wasn't familiar with, I really wasn't until you started doing it. And then I was like, wow, pretty eye-opening and actually very educational for me. Mm-hmm.
Food storage, right? So I feel like that was probably a big one.
Yes.
That's a big aspect of my homesteading, and really what got me going was seeing the empty grocery stores in 2020, eye-awakening, and then talking to you guys. You need a food storage, you need a plan. And so now they're gardening, and now they're making better choices.
Yes.
Next one. So I actually got a lot of questions about this one. Do y'all really both wear the same bun? Who was the first with the high bun? Who started the bun first? You did.
I think it was you.
I think it was you. Because I remember growing up and you'd always have the little bun or the little ponytail. We never did fancy hairstyles. We never braided.
Okay,
or you could do like one braid, but you couldn't braid my
one braid.
But she couldn't braid my hair. Mm-hmm. I think that's where I got it from.
Do you?
Well, I know me too. Is I could never do a lazy bun. So this is the bun that was my lazy bun, because I could never figure out how you pulled the hair and the bobby pins and all that. So it's just like, I want my hair up and I want a bun. So, here's the one. This is from Helfer. It says, is your mom on any medications, or has raw milk and red meat spared her that?
No, I was on 2. I don't really do
But we weren't on for long, because I remember you did not want to be on them.
No,
and it was for blood pressure.
That was one of them, yeah. And the other one was for esophageal problems. Mm-hmm. And I think on that one, when my doctor told me I needed to up my dosage, and I said I thought it was too much, and he said, well, my wife does it every day. Right then I thought, no. So I went and searched myself, and I researched holistic, because I'm a true believer in that. And so, no, I took myself off of both of them, and I do holistic tinctures every day, and I exercise. I try to eat healthy. Yeah, I fumble sometimes, but and I do eat meat. I eat meat probably 3-4 times a week. So yes, I've taken myself off. I feel a lot better, and I'm glad I've done it.
And I feel like you're looking a lot better, and I know you've been feeling better because of what you've shared.
Yeah.
And then with it, meat and stuff, you guys have started sourcing local.
Yes, we do.
Which is really cool.
Yep.
And you can taste the difference.
Oh, right? Definitely. I would never, ever go to a grocery store, Walmart, or any of those and get my meat ever again. Never. It's a big difference, and you do have to pay a little bit more, but it's worth it. It's well worth it.
So do you think the tinctures that you're doing have helped your blood pressure and your esophageal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
We have become more holistic minded, I would say, because I would definitely do that over medication. And what you're saying
I've definitely have never wanted to be on medication. I was told for many years I needed to for my blood pressure, and I really put it off, and I was told by doctors I could have a stroke, blah, blah, and I finally gave in. Yep. And then after being on it, it was my husband told me the side effect of this medication was cancer, and I was just like, no, I quit it that day, and I thought, there has to be better options that are clean and are good for you, and I found them, and And people think tinctures are so expensive, and in the long run, when you look at what you pay for your medication, the tinctures, it balances out, plus they're a lot more healthy for you. So, yeah, I'm a firm believer in the
probably
tinctures.
no side effect of cancer with those.
Mm-mm.
So when the doctor, I've resonated with that when you have this like aha moment with your doctor. Mine was when I was vegetarian for so long and went to my doctor, started eating meat again, and he was so disappointed that I was eating red meat every day and told me I was going to get heart disease because he thought being vegetarian was healthy, that he was vegetarian too, so he was a bit skewed. Now I know I would never go to someone who doesn't look healthy, who isn't like living a healthy lifestyle. Why would I ever take advice from them? You had your aha moment with my wife takes it.
Yeah.
You're not his wife. You're a completely different individual, different system. So how is that any justification to take a medication? Did they explain side effects with you?
No, never. Mm-mm. Another thing, they're paid by Big Pharma. It's a known. They get kickbacks. I know for a fact. I worked in the health industry. I know for a fact, and I just don't want to partake in that. You know, I've seen things where they put them on one medication and they have to put them on another because the first one gives them side effects and the second gives them side effects, so they give them another, and just the list goes on and on and on and on. And I'm just not going to fall into that. I never will. I'm not going to. And I feel way better than when I was on the medication garbage that they put me on.
And you look better too. I feel like
Well,
you
thank
look
you.
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I feel like when you start making these changes, your health manifests itself. Like,
It does.
I know when I stopped being vegetarian, you said that I looked way better.
You looked way better, yes.
And I feel like that has manifested along with all the other things I'm doing with my diet, so vegetarian, but also the skincare products that I use, tallow. Oh,
Yeah.
A lot of people asked, and I did answer this on Instagram, what do you do for your skin? Because it's so beautiful.
Tallow. Morning, night, faithfully. Skin, neck.
So I feel like these little changes that you do, whether it's your medication or your diet, they make a big difference. And I feel like you can see. So when I see someone who's bald, overweight, pale, like doesn't look good, and they're trying to like give advice or give flack on raw milk or eating meat, why would I ever take advice from that? Like,
that's how that doctor looked that told me.
That's a meme.
Because his wife did, yeah.
That's literally a meme. Taking advice from people who look sick, and you're like, something's not adding up here.
Yeah,
because you're not. If you're taking this advice and you look that sick, I don't want what you're taking.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you drink raw milk?
Every once in a while I do it. I'm not a big milk drinker, but yes. Personally, for me, I like goat milk better than cow's milk. Goat milk's really good.
Goat milk is really good. So we get really spoiled with it.
Yeah.
People think with the reputation of goat milk that it has a goaty flavor or like a grassy flavor. It'll depend on the diet and the goat, the specific goat. But with cow,
yeah, you can taste.
You can taste the cow. More so than for my goats. You can't taste the goat. It's just like cream.
Yeah, I drink that over regular milk or even cow's milk, raw milk.
Raw cow's milk. And there is some really good raw cow's milk, but I've tried a lot of different cows, and I feel like the flavor is stronger than in my goat's milk. But it's interesting, so a lot of people don't have that experience with goat milk.
I've heard some people told me that before I tried it, and I was like,
maybe that's propaganda to keep you from goat milk.
Possibly.
Next one is Anne. Like, are you ever sick?
I can't even remember. 2 years ago, when somebody came to my house and they had the stomach flu. Yeah, I got the stomach flu from them. Yeah, that's the last time. I haven't had a cold or anything.
And there's a conspiracy for you. See, I don't believe in viruses, so the flu and transferring in germs.
I don't know. That person that stayed at our house had it pretty bad, and I had it the next day, so not sure on that one. Not sure.
So, I haven't been sick in 2 years. I think the last time I got like sick, cold, sore throat was about 2 years ago in the summer. I haven't been sick.
Yeah,
I did have irritation from, how would you explain what goes on in the sky, especially during the springtime at certain temperatures? I did get irritation that I noticed during those days where they come flying, and the plane condensation trails is totally just the condensation that's causing issues with me and a lot of other people.
I get that in my throat.
Yep. Oh yeah, the throat was. I remember that. The bee propolis.
I just sprayed that in there.
I remember that. My throat was so irritated.
Yeah.
The next one is, what's the best advice Mom has given you? From Jimmy. I would say when it comes to advice, I would think more of example, if this is gonna make sense. So my mom has always been like ride or die for me. And I think that's advice in and of itself, of like being there for your kid. And I very much want to be that for whenever I have kids. Just like ride or die. I'm there, whatever you need, because that's made me feel really loved and supported. And I feel like everyone should have that. So that's kind of how, I don't know, that's like a life advice for me, of something that I want to pass on to the next generation. So I guess this one's for me. Have you always done homesteading, or is this fairly new? So we touched on this a little bit. I have not always done homesteading. We didn't grow up doing it or preserving food. I think you did freezer jam sometimes. Freezer jam. Raspberry jam, that was really good. And we do syrups. Besides that, for homesteading, it is fairly new to me. Let's see, I've been doing it for 6 or 7 years now. I really dove in with food storage, and then 2019, I wanted to grow my own garden, so I built some garden boxes. Let's see, and planted tomatoes, strawberries, watermelon, herbs. So I started there, and then really my big wake-up call to homesteading was those empty grocery store shelves. Because, do you remember going to the grocery store and it was empty?
Yeah, it was scary.
Empty! And they had the arrows on the floor, and if you had your mask below your nose, people would freak out. And the shelves were empty, the fridges were empty, the freezers were empty. You couldn't get anything online. They didn't know when food was coming in. It was chaos when food finally got in. There was limits on what you could get. You guys had a bit of a food storage because we started before that. Yeah. We even stocked up on TP before the TP outage. The cool thing about homesteading, you can do it from anywhere. You can build a food storage from anywhere. You can cook and bake from anywhere. And from Lindsay, what are all the foods that you would recommend to eat? So, for me, when I'm thinking like foods to recommend, I don't have any recommendations. It's just more like what makes your body feel good. That's where I'm at, because I don't like to tell people what to eat.
I don't either, but again, going back to quite a while ago, one of the questions, definitely with meat, just find a local butcher. Like, there is a big difference, and yes, you're going to pay a little bit more, but I just cut back in other areas because I would rather have the good beef or the pork, bacon. I notice a difference, and it's significant. So
source local, and I just share the foods that make me feel good. Like, I love my raw milk. I love eating eggs. I love meat. I love sourdough bread. I love yogurt. So just things that make me feel good. The next one is, what's your favorite thing that you do as a part of homesteading? I really enjoy being out in my garden, because this is where my bees are. I love to walk around barefoot in ground. I love seeing things grow. I also love just the peace of the land and sitting and relaxing. I love harvesting fruit.
I would say that for me, gardening is a big one, because to go out and see what you grew from seeds, it's just like, oh my gosh. That's a big one. I also like to ground and walk around a lot on my grass. And I love to just sit out in my backyard. It's peaceful, and just enjoy and get some sun and relax.
Next question is from Tanzan. It is the best advice for young women. And thinking of the young woman that I once was, is find your confidence. Like, be yourself. You have to love yourself. and just be confident, however you find your confidence. Because when you go in the world, people are going to want to tear you down. They aren't even going to know you, and they're going to want to just tear you down, eat you up, and you have to be confident. You have to say, you know what? Whatever you're saying, I don't care, because I love myself. I'm freaking cool. I'm funny. I'm whatever you think, whatever you are. Be confident. Find your confidence and go out in the world, work on it, and just know that whatever anybody says doesn't matter.
I'll agree on everything there, but also I think another thing that you can do when those people, because people have nothing better to do than to rip somebody down, is you just put up a shield around you. Just put that shield, invisible shield, and let it all bounce off, because at the end of the day, it's really their problem and what they think of you. And now I had very low self-confidence when I was young, and I look back now and think, wow, no, I should have been stronger and, liked myself more. And now, I don't know, it's probably with age, but I don't let that affect me. And you have to understand, to me, when people are coming at you, it's their deal. They're disgusted with themselves, and they probably have the low confidence, and they can't stand something about you, and they want to rip you down because it's really them. So just remember that if somebody does that to you, no, put your beam or whatever up around you and let it bounce off and move on with your day and have a good day. There you go.
Chef's kiss. That was incredible. Where did you learn how to do all of the homesteading from AZ point of view? I would say books, other people, my community, videos, and trial and error. Just getting out and doing it. That is the best way you're gonna learn. Plant your seedlings, they all die, then you're like, why did they die? You learn what's going on, you adjust. You have bees, your bees don't make it through the winter, which has happened to me. You figure out why they didn't make it for the winter, you adjust, and now all my beehives made it through the winter this last winter. So just getting out and doing it, saying, hey, I want to try beekeeping. Hey, I want to cook from scratch. Hey, I want to do this. And just do it. Just do it. And so that's how I've learned. How about you?
I think that's with us, with our garden boxes. We've learned trial and error. One big thing we did last year was put in an irrigation system for our boxes, and that's just made a world of difference, saving time for us as well. But yeah.
That, or I'll send my dad, and say, hey, did you see this? You should look into this. And then that'll become his hobby or preoccupation for the next little bit. And then he'll come back and teach me, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Last one is, what motivated you or changed your way of thinking? At what moment in your life, from Danny? So I feel like my life, I've constantly been changing where I want to go, who I want to be, as we all do. But when it came to homesteading specifically, is like we've mentioned a few times, seeing those empty grocery store shelves, I knew the system was broken. I couldn't believe I was relying on it. And I said, yeah, there was something seriously wrong. Our great-grandparents had it right because they were self-sufficient. I mean, they were kicking it out there on the homestead, growing their food, caring for all their kids without a grocery store. They weren't dependent. They were independent. And so they had a lot more power than we do now.
Mine was the same. Going to the store, that was such a horrible time. And I just thought to myself, never again, never again.
Yeah, so it seems like the empty grocery store shelves are...
That was my awakening.
It was a wake-up call. I don't know how that wasn't a wake-up call to everybody. Like, hey, something is broken. This is crazy. And something that killed me is when people were like, why are the shelves empty? Can't we all just share and leave stuff for others? You really think people are going to do that in an emergency situation? Everybody's out for themselves.
No, they're panicking.
Yep, they're panicking. And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, poor me, like, somebody should have left something. That is the wrong mentality. Everybody's out for themselves. That's when it comes to that situation.
It's
sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
So you have to be out for yourself ahead of time. Well, thank you for coming to our Q&A.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was really fun, even if she's a crazy flat earther. I appreciate it a lot. I had a lot of fun. Thank
I
you
did
so
too.
much.
It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun.
Comments.
I'll do it again.
Yeah, and let
Yes.
us know if you have any questions for future ones. And we will see you next time.
Yes.
Don't do anything a Gubba wouldn't do. Bye!
Bye.